The Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority released the new prices of fuel for the next 1 month, starting midnight up until the 14th of August. And the gazettement, or rather the publication of those prices mean that a litre of petrol reduces by a shilling, a litre of diesel, 1 shilling 50 cents, a litre of kerosene, 1 shilling 30 cents. But now what is peculiar is that apparently the price of the landed costs of fuel has actually gone down. For the litre of petrol, it has gone down from 100 shillings to 92 shillings. That's a reduction of 8 shillings. But the road maintenance levy, what you call the fuel levy, has gone up by 7 shillings. There had been a conversation going on. Former Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen had said that Kenyans have rejected a review of the road maintenance levy, but said that they would find a route to ensure that the price of fuel does not go up. Robert Mbui, it appears that the route to making sure the price of fuel does not go up has been to take advantage of the reduction of landed costs, but raise the fuel levy anyway. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I appreciate any time the price of fuel goes down, because I mean that's a it's a relief on the citizenry. But I am very, very unhappy about these kind of illegal levies. You know, the government, as constituted, does not have the mandate to increase fuel levy by a whooping 7 shillings without Parliament's approval. I mean, this should have been a Gazette notice indicating that position, and should have ended up in the Committee of Delegated Legislation in the National Assembly, a committee that the Deputy Speaker chaired in the last Parliament, so that is approved by Parliament. So what has happened now is that it's already been thrown out there. Mm-hmm. It's already being implemented. And yes, it is okay because the prices have gone down. But let us have a conversation. The reason we're in the quagmire we're in now, Sam, is because of the executive continuously ignoring, the law. Mm-hmm. If the law says that you cannot increase without approval of Parliament, why would EPRA decide to do it quietly? It is okay that the prices have gone down. But let us have that conversation. Let us approve it as National Assembly, so that when you implement it, it is Kenyans understand that we are doing that because of what I heard the former CS for transport. He was very clear. I listened to him, and I think that he had some points in essence, because we have dilapidated infrastructure of roads in the country. Right. We have very, very many roads that need to be completed. We have very many roads that have been damaged by the recent very heavy rains. So it's understandable that we require money to deal with it. But we cannot do an illegality, in the process, and then wish that Kenyans do not notice. So I think they took advantage of the big drop in the international, fuel prices to introduce a tax, which is why Kenyans are in the streets. So why are they taking us back there? So I think the executive does not seem to learn some. Okay.
Mheshimiwa Elachi, what are your thoughts about this? Because Kenyans would have expected that because of the reduction in the landed cost of 8 shillings, that should be reflected at the pump price. But then again, now we have roads to build.
You see, first of all, and that is what is bringing anger. And I don't know why EPRA just wants to take us back to a very dangerous route, because they know very well the law is very clear. You have to just go through the delegated committee. They will pass or advise each other, knowing very well we are coming from a very, very tough few weeks where Kenyans feel, is there a way there's consultation for us to understand what is happening in the past so that I prepare myself? But you can't just wake up after we've gone all through that. And then the next thing, we will start again another blame game. But then having said that, I think one thing we should ask ourselves, and this is one thing I'm asking EPRA in the morning. You see, when the international markets are coming down, then you must give us a justification of why us, as it comes down at landing, meaning when the guys who now do this business, right, for them, it's eased. But then you push it to your consumer, and yet within the same month, just within 1 month, We have seen how we have moved. Is it that we will always, in this country, benefit people who are the business owners of the business, and then the consumers will always be the ones to be paying so painfully? And that is what is bringing a lot of challenges in the country, and people feeling you're taking advantage of us. Because you have to always balance. You will get your profit. We are not saying do business and don't get your profit. Get your profit, yes. But then do not use your 100% profit to now kill the consumer who is bringing in the profit. So that is one thing. And then you do that, and then the consumer decides, okay, I need to survive. So what do? We will keep the cars. We shall use Ubers. We shall use a few. So you won't even make the mark that you want. And that is one thing I don't know why we haven't learned from even all the times you raise fuel. Kenyans nowadays just understand and say, okay, fine, we will use a different method to find ourselves where we want to go. So why can't we think through? And I would wish even now, even I won't call it the executive, let me call it each institution that is given a mandate to run this country, because it's not always, it is the executive across many other institutions. Can we have some sense of understanding where the country is? Can we have some sense of feeling Kenyans have already cried? And the moment you do your fuel levy, it's not just for fuel levy. Now it's going to affect many others. Okay. Yeah, it affects everything within the business.
All right. And Deputy Speaker, Mheshimiwa Mbui has raised an issue about that before implementing such a levy, it needs to come to the House. I'm looking at a law here. This is the Road Maintenance Levy Fund Act. I hope it is the latest one. Section 3 says, imposition of levy. The minister shall, in consultation with the minister for the time being responsible for finance, by order published in the Gazette, impose on any or all petroleum fuels entered for home use in Kenya a road maintenance levy, in this act referred to as the levy, which may be determined from time to time and in such a manner as the minister may specify in the order. So I'm not certain we have seen a Gazette notice that would allow the imposition of the new levy, but also what should be the role of Parliament in such at a time that you don't even have a Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury or even a Cabinet Secretary for Transport and Roads?
I think the procedure has always been that the relevant ministry will issue a Gazette notice, and then they must transmit that Gazette notice to the National Assembly. And when it comes to the National Assembly, it is marked to the Committee of Delegated Legislation, because the power they have to be able to gazette, they have delegated, they have powers to make legislation, because Parliament can only make acts of Parliament, but cannot make detailed legislation, especially issues like this, which are monthly. So it is being delegated by Parliament to the relevant ministries and institutions, but they gazette it, but they are required under the Statutory Instruments Act to bring it to Parliament for review. And Parliament can either approve or annul that particular legislation. Usually Parliament will have 28 days within which to approve or nullify it. I know that previously, before the recent amendment to the Statutory Instruments Act, the mischief used to be that the law allowed the relevant ministry to gazette the regulations, allow it to be implemented as Parliament is reviewing it. So sometimes you'd find that you've implemented it for a month and then Parliament nullifies it. So you wonder, how do you return the money to people and so on. So I think it's been changed now that it has to come before the House. So I really can't speculate on it, because most likely, I think the reasonable thing is to say that we will check today that if it's been already transmitted to Parliament, and then at that stage the relevant parliamentary committee will look into it.
But is it in order? Because public participation, and the former Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen indicated that majority of people that took part in the public participation rejected the fuel levy. But EPRA is gazetting it, and these prices, if you go to a petrol station, you'll find it there.
No, that's why I said, I just saw this notice now in the newspaper, and I'm very clear. I do not like to speculate. I only speak to facts that are within my knowledge. So if you spoke to me tomorrow or later today, I'll probably have a more clear answer. So it would be wrong for me to sit here and mislead Kenyans.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just looking at, there's a Road Maintenance Fund Act Imposition of Levy Amendment. It was an order in July 2016, I believe, by the then Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport, that was James Macharia. And the road maintenance levy is amended by deleting the schedule and substituting thereof the following new schedule. And the new schedule was premium petrol would be charged 18,000 shillings for every 1,000 litres. In short, that is 18 shillings every litre. Regular petrol would be 18 shillings per litre. Gas, oil, automotive, light amber for high-speed engines would be 18 shillings a litre. And it was signed that time. So it would appear that you needed another Gazette notice to amend this one of 2016. And like she says, we have to check if that has been...
And remember, the Gazette notices are issued every Friday, but there is also supplementary ones in between the week if there's something that is urgent. So let's not speculate.
I've actually checked the Gazette notice website.
I've not there. You can't read the Gazette notice for me. I'll read it for myself.
No, yes, you're right. I'm just saying. I'm actually not talking about...
I will...
I've checked the site for Gazette notices. The last one was published on 5th. There's none for 12th of July. But the petrol prices are higher this morning. We take a short break. We come back. Higher in terms of the road maintenance levy, that is, from 8 shillings. From 18 shillings to 25 shillings. But of course, the effective change is a reduction of 1 shilling. We take a short break. When we come back, we talk about the road to forming a new government for President William Ruto, what that road looks like. Stay tuned.